let's talk about it. You use the letters EPO. It's a very long word. You're the expert. Can you tell us what EPO? I mean, we heard you say it with Sugar Shane Mosley, but can you tell the audience what is EPO? You said it's a powerful drug. What is EPO? What are the benefits of EPO?
The technical name is erythropoietin, and it promotes the production of red blood cells. And what that does is each and every time that a boxer or an athlete takes a breath, you have an area on a red blood cell called hemoglobin. They're like seats on a bus, and you can attach, let's say, 5 oxygen molecules, and then those to a red blood cell, like a little bus that transports them down to your muscle tissue in your legs, and it dumps the oxygen molecules and the nutrients, and then it picks up what we call the metabolic waste byproducts, like lactic acid, ammonia, carbon dioxide, the metabolic, call it PP and poo-poo, that you want to get out of your system because it promotes fatigue back, and then you exhale those out. So literally, they call EPO the effects that it turns you into a machine. That means you just simply don't get tired. So when you see these boxers who come on in the second half of the fight and are throwing more punches and maintaining that volume with equal power, it's likely that they're using EPO. And I don't want to get into specific cases, but I see this all the time. And then I look who they're associated with. And then my best guess is, yes, that boxer's using EPO.
The bell in round one. Andrade used to starting explosively, tends to lose focus in the second half of fights, sees his punch output drop. He addressed that for this camp, working 7 weeks in the Bay Area with Victor Conti. And Conti told us that there would be no way that Andrade would fade in the second half of this fight, thanks to all the work he did preparing for the monster.
Because when I was watching the fight, of course, you was in the dressing room of Andrade when he fought in his last fight with David Benavidez. I want to play something for you, of course, because you was probably in the back. I don't know if you heard it with the volume up or not. I did, and as soon as I heard your name, I smirked when I was watching the fight, because I wanted to see if this was going to be the case, because I don't know if you said it or not, but they quoted you. Here it is. I'm going to roll the tape for you. This is on the beginning broadcast of the David Benavidez versus the Andrade fight. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.
The bell in round one. Andrade used to starting explosively, tends to lose focus in the second half of fights, sees his punch output drop. He addressed that for this camp, working 7 weeks in the Bay Area with Victor Conti. And Conti told us that there would be no way that Andrade would fade in the second half of this fight, thanks to all the work he did preparing for the monster.
Boy, I could barely hear that, but it sounded like they were quoting ESPN Mike Coppinger, where I said that he wouldn't run out of gas in the second half of the fight because we had trained his both speed and power endurance.
That's exactly correct. That is exactly what they were referring to. He was working with you for 7 weeks in camp, and because of that, you gave someone a quote that, like you just said, Andrade is not going to gas out. He's going to pick up his levels in the second half of the fight, and he's definitely going to have stamina in the later rounds.
Listen, like Mike Tyson says, everybody's got a plan until they get hit. He got hit with that one right hand, and he wasn't the same thereafter. So the next round, it got worse and it got worse, and he realized that, he was in there against a much bigger man. As you know, his entire career has been at 54 and 60. He couldn't get the fights that he was looking for, so he jumped up to 68. And he had one fight before on a very short notice. We did our best preparing him, but he got hit by somebody bigger, and it affected his performance. He did not run out of gas. Once he got hit with that punch, he wasn't the same.
So now you know why I had to play that for you, because the suspicion would be what you said in the last segment that we had about EPO, and you said if there's a fighter that increased in volume and power in the later rounds, that you should be suspicious of them, and somebody can listen to that, or probably have listened to that, and say, hey, maybe Andrade's on, EPO or something like that, because Victor Conti is stamping and approving that he's not going to run out of gas.
Does not have that history of throwing lots of punches in the second half of the fight. Let me tell you a couple who do. Benavidez is one.